Folks, what is up and welcome back to CCL Sports Cards. I am so excited for this episode. We're about 75 episodes in, and longtime viewers of this show know that for the longest time, I sent all of my slabs that needed cracking to my guy Dusty at SubHub. And Dusty is still my guy. But as time has gone on and CCL has evolved, and we're buying more and more cards and cracking more and more slabs, to be perfectly frank, I didn't want to spend the money. So fast forward, we now crack a lot of our own slabs. And I will say that there was a little bit of trauma. Like I'm sure all of us fear when we go to, I gotta crack my own slabs, and where do I start, and what tool do I use, and what if I ruin the card? Well, guess what? I ruined a card. I watched a YouTube episode. These guys told me to use tile crackers and then lift up the slab, and the only thing you gotta worry about is the slab coming back down and damaging the card. Well, guess what? I damaged this card. This was a PSA 9 for the longest time. And I completely disagreed with that grade. The card was clean, it was well centered. I said, you know what, I'm gonna start today. This is months ago. I'm gonna start today and I'm gonna crack this slab that's a PSA 9 and I'm gonna resubmit it to PSA and get a 10. Well, again, that didn't go very well, but I didn't let fear stop me and I did destroy the card, which again was my worst fear. But in that happening, I decided to re-educate myself and learn how to crack a slab properly. And this lovely fellow on YouTube explained to me that I should be using these. It's an electrician's tool. It's called 8-inch cutting pliers, and it's so simple. It takes less than a couple of minutes to crack a slab, and I've cracked 50 to 60 of my own now with no problems. These things are like gold. And of course, I've saved a ton of money. Now, it's not to say that I don't send my slabs over to Dusty when I have really expensive ones and I want his opinion as to whether we can get a grade bump, but in this instance with my lower end stuff, I crack it myself. So without further ado, let's get into the cracking of the slabs. Okay, folks, we are ready to roll here. Now I'm gonna do my very best with this setup because I gotta kind of work around my presentation camera. I got my tools here on the desk. Now this is very important, okay? I actually learned this the hard way as well. When you're cracking the slab, sometimes there's some shrapnel that kind of just flies around the room. So may seem simple, but I've got my safety glasses and we're ready to go. I kind of value my eyes. And as I said, I'm gonna do my very best to kind of work around this. We're gonna start off with a Max Meyer Purple 70 of 250. This was graded by PSA maybe about a year ago. And I completely disagreed with the grade. And I'll briefly talk about this before I actually get into the cracking with the tools. You've got little recourse, as you folks know, when you get your grades back. You can crack them and you can send them to another grader for another opinion. But that costs money. So again, I've gotten better cracking my own slabs because when I disagree, the only recourse I have is to send it somewhere else. And you guys who have watched the show for a long time know that generally speaking at CCL, we have like a 65% gem rate. I had 2 orders I didn't even bother revealing because my gem rate was like 8%. It was filled with 7s, 8s, and 9s. I was blown away. So I cracked, like you'll see the picture here in a second, I cracked like 50 to 60 of my own slabs with no problems using this method. So it is super safe, but remember, eyeglasses, okay? Just a disclaimer, and we'll get into it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your 8-inch cutting pliers and you're gonna kind of work around this edge here, okay? And then once we get it all taken apart, you're gonna use this screwdriver to just lift, and you'll see how easy it separates. But before we get into the actual cracking here of the slab, and I am gonna send this Max Meyer because I want a second opinion, I'm gonna send it to BGS. I have a little blanket here to kind of collect all the shrapnel that's gonna fly off. And we'll get mid here, and here we go. Easy peasy, guys. You're gonna go around the slab. I swear it's easy, I swear. As I miss on the first try. And you're just gonna break off the edge. That's it. You're just gonna separate it. And there's no concerns about wrecking the card. Some of it will come off easier, some of it's gonna come off harder, but generally speaking, having done so many slabs, I almost feel like I'm a pro. It just comes apart. But you know what's missing right now? Music. I always got music. As you guys who watched my last episode know, I've always got music going in the office. I like to have fun. So as you can see, we're about halfway around. This is probably about a 2-minute process. I will say when we do the BGS slab, it's a little harder to crack. They're thicker slabs, but same methodology. See, there we go. Ping! That was a piece of plastic flying across the room.
How worried does your camera person have to be about her eyes?
Quite a bit. No, I'm just kidding. No, it generally like goes like 5 feet away. And you see, we got as I pulled this last part, you can kind of see this. It actually started to separate already. So we've done our job in cracking off the edge. Now watch how simple this process is. Just lift this up. Make sure I keep this on camera. This is very, very tricky. And you're just going to kind of lift. And we bring our screwdriver around. Make sure, now I'm going to get a little bit closer because this is the part where you got to pay attention. Don't actually like run the screwdriver across the card. I've been fortunate enough not to do this, but just kind of drag your screwdriver along the edge and you'll feel it start to come apart. You'll hear the popping. And if you find like you're getting hung up and it's not coming apart, this is really important. Don't force it. Don't like, oh, I gotta finish this. Take a deep breath, as silly as that sounds, flip the slab around and start working from the other side. You know, just keep the pressure low. This is fun. So I lift this edge up because I've already got some separation and you're gonna hear some pop, pop, pop. Keep the screwdriver away. Of course, this is the part where I actually probably scratch the card with a screwdriver, but I'm gonna do my best not to. We're almost there. Almost. One more pop and I think we're set. There we go. That's it. And watch this. Just gently pull this back. Oh, no, we're not there yet. So again, don't force it. Practice what I preach. Go back to the other side and just get a few more pops. I want to cover this up. Make sure we get a little lift here. There we go. That ought to do it. And voila. Your slab is cracked. The card hasn't been touched. And generally, you're not going to find there to be a lot of plastic on here. But what you're going to do after you finish cracking the slab is I have a little piece of paper towel off camera. You're literally, I'm going to put it here over top because I don't want to put it on the plastic. You're going to put it over on the paper towel, turn it upside down. Don't touch the card because you don't know if you have plastic on your hands. You don't want to scratch the card. Onto a piece of paper towel, and then off we go. But that's it. The slab's been cracked. These are ready to go back out for grading. And I'll let you know how it turns out. Appreciate you guys watching. Have an awesome day.